Previously, Duke Ansel Draven, blind since birth, found an unexpected connection with a mysterious woman he met upon a lonely mountain road. He never knew she was Selene, the last Moon Priestess, hunted by the church for a faith the kingdom believed had vanished forever. As the Inquisitors descended upon the temple, Mother Rhea sacrificed herself to give Selene one final chance to escape. That same night, Ansel returned to the mountain road, searching for the woman who had quietly changed his world. He found only silence, unaware that Selene was already running for her life. 3 days later, the church's inquisitor came to Draven Castle himself. "Your Grace, forgive the intrusion," the inquisitor said. "We are searching for a heretic, a priestess of the old moon cult, known to frequent these mountains. A young woman. We have reason to believe she may have approached your household." "I know of no such woman," Ansel said. "Are you certain, Your Grace? Witnesses report a woman singing near your carriage on several occasions." "I am blind, Inquisitor. I could not tell you the color of a woman's hair if my life depended on it." The Inquisitor's silence stretched a moment too long. "Of course, Your Grace. Forgive the suggestion. If you should hear anything, you would be the first to know," Ansel said. He lied without hesitation. He, who had never in his life told a falsehood to the church, lied as easily as breathing, because somewhere beneath the mountain wind and the memory of a song that had quieted a curse, Ansel Draven understood, with sudden and terrible clarity, that he loved a woman he had never even seen and would burn the world down before he let them take her. That same night, far up in the mountains, the temple's old bell rang 3 times, the signal Mother Rhea had drilled into every novice since they were children. Church soldiers, coming up the eastern path. "How many, Selene, run to me? How many did you see?" Mother Rhea demanded. "A dozen, maybe more." Selene answered, breathless. "Mother, come with us. I am too old to run, child, and too slow to hide. But you are not. I will not leave you," Selene insisted. "You will," Mother Rhea said, "because I have spent my whole life protecting the young ones who come to this temple, and I will not watch that end tonight with you in chains beside me. Go. Take the eastern ridge. There is a fishing village 3 days south where no one will know your face." "Mother." "Selene, look at me. You carry something in your voice that this world has not seen in 100 years. Do not let it die screaming in a village square because you were too stubborn to run. Live. That is the only order I have ever truly needed you to obey." The soldiers reached the temple gates as Selene fled down the ridge in the dark. Mother Rhea's voice, steady, unafraid, already beginning the song that lays the dying to rest, fading behind her with every step. She did not look back. She could not afford to. But she heard, faint over the wind, the moment the singing stopped. They found her anyway. She had lived 2 weeks as a stranger to herself, a woman with no name, wrapped in a stolen fisherman's cloak, sleeping in the hollows of sea caves where the tide would erase her footprints twice a day. She kept the crescent mark bound tight beneath a bandage, told herself it was only a burn scar if anyone asked, and prayed to a goddess she was no longer certain was listening. She thought of Ansel every night. She told herself it was foolish, that a duke's affection for a mountain girl he had never even seen could not have survived the truth of what she was, that he was, by now, surely relieved to be free of a heretic's shadow over his house. She told herself this, and did not believe a single word of it, and hated herself a little for the hope she could not kill no matter how she tried. In a fishing village 3 days from the capital, a merchant recognized the crescent mark. The bandage had slipped while she slept in the market stalls, seeking scraps of bread, and matched it to a church bulletin nailed to the tavern door. He sold her whereabouts for a bag of silver before the sun had fully risen. She was dragged into the village square at dawn. The inquisitors did not wait for trial. "Selene of no house, you stand accused of heresy," the lead inquisitor declared, "of practicing the forbidden arts of the old moon faith, of consorting with the enemies of the Holy Church." "I have healed the sick, I have eased the dying," Selene said. "If that is heresy, then so be it. Bind her, let the flame judge her soul." Word reached Draven Castle by the time the pyre was already being built. "My lord, a woman is to be burned in the eastern village square at dawn," a rider reported. "A priestess. They say she sang the old songs." "Bring my horse," Ansel said. "My lord, you cannot ride there blind and alone. It is 3 hours." "I said bring my horse." For the first time in his life, Ansel Draven rode without a guide, without a guard, counting the turns of the road from memory alone, his cane discarded, his hands raw on the reins, driven by something that had never once lived in him before, not duty, not obligation, but a terror so pure it burned through even 26 years of darkness like a second sun. He had ridden this road 100 times toward her, always at his own unhurried pace, always certain the mountain would still be there the next week, and the week after that. He had never once ridden it like this, as though the world itself might end if his horse slowed even a fraction. He thought absurdly of the first night they'd met, of a broken carriage wheel, and a woman's unhurried footsteps in the dark. He had not known, then, that he would spend the rest of his life measuring every ordinary moment against that one. The last hour before he understood what it meant to want something enough to burn a kingdom down for it. "Hold on," he said to no one, to the wind, to a woman 3 hours away who could not hear him. "Hold on. I am coming. I have never once in my life come for anyone. Let me come for you." He arrived as the torch was lowered to the kindling. "Stop!" Ansel roared. The crowd parted before the Duke of Draven, the way crowds always parted, out of fear if nothing else. "Your Grace, this does not concern you," the Inquisitor began. "I said stop. Inquisitor, forgive the intrusion, but the Duke has no authority over church matters," an aide protested. "I have authority over every acre of land in this province, and this square stands on Draven land," Ansel said. "Release her. Now." The Inquisitor's voice turned cold, careful. "Your Grace, do you know this woman?" Ansel did not answer at first. He turned his sightless eyes toward the sound of her breathing, ragged and exhausted, chained to a stake she could not see him reach for. "I do." Then you understand that to protect a confessed heretic makes you complicit in her crime. Then let me be complicit. Release her, or face the full weight of House Draven. Ansel, Selene said, her voice cracked and disbelieving. I'm here, he answered. You're the Duke. You've been the Duke this whole time. Does it matter? A long silence. Somewhere in the crowd, someone whispered his name, realizing, for the first time, that the strange humming woman from the mountain road and the Duke's mysterious companion were one and the same. It matters that you never told me, Selene said. It matters that you never asked, he said quietly. I never cared what you were, Selene. Priestess, heretic, moon witch. I do not care what name the church gives you. I only know that you were the first mercy this darkness ever gave me. And I will not let them take that from me now. The Inquisitor did not release her. Instead, he gave the order, burn them both if the Duke insists on sharing her heresy. Guards seized Ansel by the arms before he could reach the pyre. He fought them with a strength born of pure desperation, blind eyes wide and useless, straining toward the sound of her voice. Selene, he shouted. I'm here, Ansel. Don't fight them, you'll only, she called back. Let her go. Take me instead. Take everything I have, my title, my land, my name. Just let her go. Your Grace, the Inquisitor said, almost gently, almost sad. Do you truly not understand? It was never about her alone. It was never even truly about the old faith. It is about what happens to an empire when its most powerful house kneels before a heretic in front of half a province. We cannot let that lesson stand, whatever pity I may feel for you both. Then may every god who ever cursed my blood curse you tenfold, Ansel said, voice breaking. May you never know one single hour of the mercy you're about to burn out of this world. The torch touched the kindling. What happened next, the village would speak of for years. How the sky above the square turned the color of a bruise. How the moon, though it was midday, became suddenly visible, pale and enormous, hanging low over the mountains as though it had been summoned. How Selene, chained and burning at the edges of the kindling, began to sing. Not the small quiet songs of healing she had always been taught to keep hidden, but something older, something that made the Inquisitors drop their torches and clutch their ears. The mark on her collarbone, the crescent the church called heresy, began to glow. You are not merely a priestess, a voice said. The voice that spoke was not Selene's, though it came from her mouth, deeper, ancient, threaded with starlight. I am what remains of a goddess who chose to be forgotten rather than feared, the voice continued. And you, Ansel Draven, blind son of a cursed house, do you know why you were born without sight? Tell me, Ansel said. Because 100 years ago, your ancestor struck down a priestess of the moon faith in this very square, and swore that no Draven would ever again look upon the old faith's mercy. The moon answered that oath. Every firstborn Draven since has been born blind, so that none of your line could ever again turn a blade against her children. Then it was never a curse of punishment. It was a curse of protection. A curse born of grief, the voice said, softer now. And grief, unlike hatred, can be undone. Do you understand now why the mountain road called to you, night after night, though you never knew why your feet carried you there? Why a broken carriage wheel found you exactly where a priestess of the moon was passing? This was never chance, blind son of Draven. This was 100 years of waiting, finally come due. Then let it be paid, Ansel said. Whatever price remains, let it fall on me and not on her. The price was already spent the moment she chose to sing for you instead of for herself, the voice said. The last of her strength went into a healer's mercy for a stranger on a mountain road, long before either of you understood what you were to each other. All that remains now is whether her body can survive what her heart has already given. Then save her, Ansel begged. I am begging a goddess I have cursed my whole life for not existing. Save her, and take my sight again if you must. Take anything, only let her live. I cannot give what is not mine to give, Ansel Draven. But I can return, once, a mercy that was stolen from this line 100 years ago. Watch closely, blind son of Draven. This is the last thing the darkness will ever take from you. The chains around Selene shattered. The flames, impossibly, turned cold, curling away from her skin like smoke retreating from wind. She fell forward, and Ansel, blind, unguided, moving on nothing but instinct and love, caught her before she hit the ground. Selene, Selene, stay with me, he pleaded. I'm here, she whispered. Don't close your eyes. I have to, Ansel. The song took more from me than I had left to give. No, no, you don't get to leave me now. Not now that I finally... His voice broke. Not now that I finally have something worth seeing. The old temple's final gift, the one Mother Rhea had never spoken of, because she herself did not believe it possible, was this: that a goddess who chooses to be forgotten may, once in 100 years, choose to be remembered by a single act of mercy. The light that had glowed in Selene's collarbone spread outward, gentle as dawn, and touched the two closed eyes of a man who had never once seen the world he'd been born into. Ansel Draven opened his eyes for the first time in 26 years. The first thing he saw, not the mountains, not the burning wreckage of the pyre, not the terrified crowd, was her face. You're beautiful, he said, his voice raw with something between laughter and grief. I always imagined you would be. I didn't know I'd be right. Selene's eyes opened slowly, and for the first time she saw him too, not as a voice in the darkness, not as a shadow on a mountain road, but as a man, whole and unguarded, weeping openly in a village square with her cradled against his chest. I thought I would die never knowing what you looked like, she said. You'll have the rest of your life to look, she whispered, if you'll have me. The inquisitors were gone by the time the crowd came to its senses, fled into the hills, their authority broken along with their torches. The church would send new ones in time. There would be trials, negotiations, perhaps even war between the old faith and the new. But that was a story for another day. In the weeks that followed, House Draven opened its doors to the scattered survivors of the old Moon Temple, the handful of novices who had escaped the raid, weeping when they learned Mother Rhea had not. Ansel gave them shelter within his own walls, an act that scandalized half the capital and drew the quiet, grudging respect of the other half. "You do realize," Bertrand said one morning, watching a young novice teach kitchen staff an old healing chant, "that you have just made House Draven the most controversial name in the Empire." "I have made it the most honest name in the Empire," Ansel corrected. "There is a difference, even if the church cannot tell them apart yet." "And the priestess? What of her?" Bertrand asked. Ansel did not answer with words. He simply turned toward the garden, where Selene stood in the morning light, her face tilted up toward a sun she had spent her whole life hiding from. And Bertrand understood that he had asked a question, whose answer had already been decided the night his lord rode out alone into the dark. Lord Voss, predictably, arrived within the month to voice his concerns on behalf of the other noble houses. "Your Grace, surely you understand the position this puts your peers in," Lord Voss said. "A duke harboring known heretics, elevating a former fugitive to his own household." "She is not a fugitive, Lord Voss," Ansel said. "She is the reason I can look you in the eye while I tell you to leave my lands before nightfall. You would truly risk the Empire's favor for a woman of no house, no name, no." "She has a name," Ansel said, quiet and final, in the way that had once made grown men flinch before he could even see their faces to know it worked. "It is Selene, and she has done more good for the people of this province in a single season than your family has managed in 3 generations of collecting their taxes. I would think carefully, my lord, before you finish that sentence." Lord Voss did not finish it. He left within the hour, and though House Voss would grumble for years afterward about the scandal of Draven's Moon Witch bride, none of them ever again dared raise the subject in Ansel's presence. For now, there was only a mountain road and 2 people who had found each other twice, once in darkness and once in light. Ansel Draven, who had spent 26 years counting steps in darkness, spent the rest of his life instead counting sunrises, each one witnessed beside the woman who had taught him that mercy, real mercy, had never needed eyes to be seen. It only ever needed a heart willing to listen.
Moonlight found me in the dark, long before I learned your name. I loved you blind, I loved you first, before I ever saw your face. Now the shadows fall away, and dawn has finally come to stay.